Debra Morrison, a 42-year financial expert. Welcome to the We Can Do It Women movement, where women 50 and wiser step into the spotlight and make the rest of their lives the best of their lives. I'm your host, Debra Morrison, a wealth building expert who, for 47 years, has championed financial empowerment for women, extraordinary women just like you. And yes, I have helped women secure their financial futures, and now I'm on a mission to ignite a revolution showing the world that at 50, 60, 70, and beyond, some of us might be a nickel slower, and yet we're all just getting started. And our esteemed guest today comes to us from Bowie, Maryland, Carla Coates, who is a leadership and business coach, a strategist, a speaker, and an author, best known as the founder and principal coach of Coates Consulting Group, where she helps mid-level and emerging leaders develop clarity, confidence, and impact in their roles. Carla, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to get into your how you got started, because you don't just start in typically what we are currently involved in. And so you had a rich background in government and military related roles. Talk to us about those roles and what you learned from them and how you pivoted.
Okay, great question. So what I learned is that this is a crazy response. I learned after everything, I learned to be myself.
Oh, right.
Because in the military, their thought is, and it should be, we need to protect the country.
Yeah.
We're ready for war.
Yeah.
And I was so mentally structured in that way that I lost myself in it. And I thought, you know what? I know we're working for a 2-3 star. We had admiral in the Navy, and everything is structured. Again, it should be.
Yes.
But I learned that, I understand leadership now. I actually became a coach twice. But I said, you know what? I'm still a little silly person. And I had to learn to be myself. I had to learn to be myself with my staff. And that helped my staff to grow instead of everything has got to be the structured way.
Yeah.
So I had to learn. The biggest thing I had to learn was to be Carla.
The what?
To be Carla.
To be Carla, of course. I thought you might have been saying karma there. Yeah, be Carla. You are exactly right. And I'm so glad that you brought that out, because sometimes we overcomplicate things, don't we?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
we're looking for, chasing the next best idea or an algorithm. And ultimately, I mean, I literally just got back from a retreat, and we were all like leaders, and we're just like, come home to yourself. And that authenticity will absolutely spill out, fill up and spill over into whatever it is we're doing. So you're in the Navy, yes?
So no, I was a civilian in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
But I had civilians and I had military working for me.
Gotcha, covered.
So which was very different, because again, they had a different way. It was so weird because the military would say, yes, ma'am. And I'm thinking, well, who is the ma'am?
Love that.
That's the way that they're trained to respect, their senior leaders.
Yes,
but so it taught me a lot about how the different cultures work together, and we had to work together in order to achieve our goals. So it was very beneficial. I learned a lot. I was actually, this is the crazy thing, I was cursed out one time by a senior leader. So here's the thing. It was wrong for her to do that. It was her choice of words were wrong. Her delivery was wrong. But I had to change it around to say what she ultimately said, her message was right. And I had to change.
Yeah.
So the military, working for the military, it just taught me it just taught me so much. I could spend the next probably hour talking to you about it.
Exactly. Now, I understand that a coach challenged you to pick your retirement date in the Navy.
Oh.
And that catapulted you into a whole different sphere.
Debra, let me tell you. So I was in a junior executive level position, and that's a position I thought I would never get, ever. So I was in that position. I was actually in 2 positions at that level. And right after COVID, around 2021, I just became distraught. And then I felt guilty because, Carla, you've reached this level. You should be happy, right? A lot of people. And I said, but you know what? And I'm having these conversations with myself.
Yes,
A
of
lot
course.
of people want my position, but I wanted out. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mhm.
And I called my coaching, he's called a coaching mentor. And I
Uh-huh.
said, look, I think I need a coach. And he said, okay, I've got just a person for you. Because I was someone I was driving around. I live in the suburbs, but about 15, 20 minutes from here, it's the country. It's
Yeah.
all nothing but country. People have crops and everything. They sell to the big companies.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I kept driving around and I said, I got to get out of this rut. So when I met with the coach, her first question was, "What's your retirement date?" And I didn't realize I was so comfortable. I had this dream, but I was so comfortable in in the position where I was. And
Right.
she let me whine.
Yeah.
And then she said, "What's your retirement date?" I said, "Ah!" She
Yeah.
said quietly again, "What's your retirement date?" And I knew if I wanted to move into another position, move into my business,
Yeah.
I had to commit to, okay, this is my retirement date. So
Yes.
after much whining and screaming, complaining, I
Yeah.
set my retirement date. And that was a year and a half in advance. And I retired early.
Wow. Wow.
It was
Well, with
hard.
a whole lot more clarity, right? Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
Yep,
you have over 20 years experience working with leaders at various levels, and
yes.
you're known for your empathy in giving people the clarity and momentum that they need. They may not be
Mhm.
seeking it, but they need. And
Yes.
talk to us about how exactly you do that to move people along without insulting them and freezing them, like a question like you were asked was freezing to you.
Okay, so a couple of stories. So I have one where a lady, she came to me because her daughter and son-in-law lived in Virginia Beach, and we were in the DMV area. And she said, "Carla, finally, my daughter's pregnant." It was all about the grandbaby. And
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, that's great. We were so happy about it." And she said, "But here's the thing. My son, who was in the Navy, my son-in-law, he has been shipped off and he's not going to be there for the birth of his child. I want to be there." And at that time, the government, they weren't into teleworking. And I said, "Oh, wait a minute." And she said, "I don't want time off. I just want to know, can I work from home to make sure my daughter is taken care of and my new grandbaby?" I said, "Okay." And I had to sit there and I had to think about it and how I was going to work this with HR. And I came up with a plan and I spoke to HR and they told me, "This is how you work it. This is unusual because, the government doesn't like this." And so I said, okay. Then I worked with my senior executive and I got approval. So I gave her a structure. You just can't go out there, and my words to you, Deborah, you can't go out there and be willy nilly.
Yeah.
You know what?
Exactly.
There's a structure in place. This
Yeah.
is how you should conduct yourself throughout the time. And you are still working full time. There's no, "Oh, I need to go help with the baby. I've got to take her to the doctor's appointment." You got to realize you have a job. They will extend something magnificent to you. So we went through the structure, had her sign papers, and she felt so relieved. She said, "I have no problem aligning with whatever structure you all have me on." At the end, she said, "Carla, my grandson is here." And I was able to be there with him. And
Uh,
so that's how I had to sit there and just work through it because people need things that are outside the guidelines in order to get what they want.
Always, always. And I'm glad that she asked because so often us
Yes.
women, we don't necessarily ask. So talk to us about you admonish people to say no, the power of no. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so it's setting boundaries. We are so used to saying yes to everything, especially women. We want to say yes because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, whether it's your spouse. Oh, excuse me, Deborah.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot today. Whether it's your spouse, it's your children, you have grandchildren. I know I was a grandchild. My grandmother said yes almost every time. But we just don't want to say no. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. But when we put them and a place where they feel comfortable to come towards us with so many questions, we have given them no boundaries and we have
Absolutely.
not protected ourselves.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
power of no is not necessarily saying just no, it's how to say no. How to say no to say, you know what? Let's think about another time to do this.
Right now.
Let me think about another time to do this. Or if a friend comes to you and say, hey, Deborah, hey, you want to meet tomorrow? It's this fantastic restaurant that I found, and
Yeah.
it's just beautiful. And what about 2 o'clock? Oh, you want to meet with a friend, but you also know that's your time of the day to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be your time of the day. That's my scheduled nap time. Whatever it is, you don't
Right
want to hurt the friend, but you still need to say, this is my boundaries. I have to take care of myself. My nap time is important,
Yeah.
or my grandbaby time is important. So I have to be able to say, you know what, that's great, but how about if we meet at this time? I'm fully available and I will have a ball just meeting with you at that time. So it's
Absolutely.
coming up with ways to say, here are my boundaries, and I'm not stepping over them because I need to take care of me.
Absolutely. I'm moving along because we're running out of time, but you wrote a book called Let's Get Down to Business. So talk to us about the lessons that you impart on mature women as to how to get down to business.
Okay, so it's a leadership book over, if you're a new leader. However, I will that's really what it's about. It's about a brand new leader in a position, because a lot of people don't understand, if you're in a management position, you're really managing the work. A leader leads people.
Right.
But I
That's
will shift and say, one of the things I always wanted to hire, and I was never able to hire, was a woman who was a stay at home mom, because she knows how to, this is probably a crazy way to say it, she knows how to wrangle people in. She knows how to wrangle to get those kids going,
right.
so she knows how to lead people. She
Yeah.
knows how to stick with a budget, because she may have $100 budget. It could be $1,000 budget, but she knows what to do. She knows
Yes.
how to talk to people, because if she has 3 children, all of them are different.
Right
And
now.
they're at different stages of their life. So she knows how to communicate well. And I said, that was my dream, to bring in a woman who was a stay at home mom to lead people, because she's been doing it for years. So that
Uh,
doesn't answer your question about the book, but I always had that desire. Well, a lot of women don't realize how much power and skill levels that they've obtained over the years, because they've got them. They just
you
need to
bet
be
they
able
have.
to transition them into another area.
I couldn't agree more. Now, if a woman's listening today and she knows she's not quite done yet, but she isn't sure what's next, what kind of mindset shifts do you invite them to make to move from feeling overwhelmed or just clueless to feeling empowered?
Okay. One of the things is to gain clarity.
Right
You
there.
really got to know what is it that you want to do. Just like I needed to gain clarity when I just said, I don't know what to do. I'm traveling around this country area crying because I don't know what to do. Gain clarity. Spend some time. I will always say, I'm gonna throw myself out there. Hire a coach so you can transition. But you got to gain clarity on what you want to do. You may not want to. I'm not interested in the business,
Yeah.
but I want to be able to have freedom. At the same time, I may want to go and, go to the, what do they call them, a nursing home, just to spend 2 days a week with someone and just talk to them. I'm a fabulous reader. I want to be able to read to people. I want to be able to read to children. I want to be able to become a teacher somewhere. But you got to gain clarity before you can start your path. Because if you start your path without clarity, it's going to be a mess. And then you're going to feel guilty for wasting time in your life.
Isn't that so true? You nailed it right there. I mean, you've nailed it along here, and that is so apropos. I appreciate it very much, and I know women listening are going to want to touch base with you. So, how best can they reach you to get some clarity and maybe give them the prioritization that they're seeking to reinvent themselves and step into the next chapter?
Okay, so an easy way is simply over Facebook. You can reach me on Facebook, Carla Coates. I also have my business page on Facebook, but simply over Facebook. They can reach me from there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us and sharing your time and expertise with us. It's been a rich feast, and we look forward to having you back so we can dig a little deeper. And I thank
Okay.
you, listeners and viewers, for joining us on the We Can Do It Women show. Remember, I see you. I value you. And your greatest chapter is just beginning. And if today's episode sparked something in you and you're lacking that clarity, reach out to Carla. She's got some answers. I invite you to check out our Facebook group, become active in it. I am interested in us being of assistance to each other because there's a wealth and an ocean of talent, and I want to tap into it. And if you're not sure about how to make money, and you might be thinking that you are in a scarcity mindset, or you're just plain out defining yourself as in a scarcity mindset from a money standpoint, I've got 47 years of experience showing people how to make money. You want to pay attention to this. You don't see me worshiping it. It's a tool. And so I have devised a Women's Rising Wealth Club, $47 a month for heaven's sakes. And we get together and I share what is between my ears from 47 years of experience. So I invite you to join us. We'll have the link below. So until next time, be safe, pay attention to your money, and it will surely pay you back. Thank you and good day.